This is going to be a very long video because my Q&As are always very long-winded because I talk a lot and some of you guys like it and some of you guys don't. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be filming a Q&A. I asked you guys on Instagram to send me through some questions and I got a lot of questions, a lot of really great questions, a lot of really deep questions. So I'm going to answer as many as I can today without making this video like way too long. So get a snack, get a drink, get something because it's going to be long, I just know it. So I'm just going to jump into it. I haven't read these questions, I haven't planned them. I'm just going to go through them with you guys right now. So the first question here that I'm going to answer is, what's the biggest change you want to make in your life before 2019 is over? That's a tough question. It's a bit of a tough one to start with, but I'd probably say like the main focus for me in 2019 within myself is to become way more confident. I have never been like a super confident person. I believe in myself and I believe in what I'm doing, but I think I still have a lot of self-development to do within myself mentally and emotionally, if that makes any sense. I feel like we started off with a really deep question, but that's okay. So in 2019, I really just want to focus on becoming like a lot more confident with who I am as a person and a lot more secure, because I tend to like lack confidence in who I am as like a person, which sounds really weird, but I think it's just something that I have to work on, especially with like my past of the problems that I've gone through. I think that that's really affected me emotionally and mentally with who I am. So that was a deep one, but definitely 2019 for me is just going to be really working on myself a lot mentally, emotionally, just becoming really confident and really secure with me as a person. Okay, what are your goals for the next 12 to 18 months? Okay, so for me, you guys already know this about me, I'm super ambitious, I have a lot of goals, I have a lot of dreams, so the next like 12 to 18 months are probably just going to be me focusing a lot on my channel. Obviously, you guys know I love my YouTube channel, it's like my little baby, and obviously I want to build it to be as big as it can be. I have a lot of things that I'm hoping to be working on in 2019 that are very exciting. So I feel like 2019 is going to be me just smashing out like stuff on my YouTube channel, but I've also got a lot of traveling planned for next year, so hopefully I can get a lot of that done. Definitely just to build my channel as much as I can because I love doing YouTube videos so much, and also I have a few things that could be in the works with a few brands right now. So I'm really excited for 2019. And also by the end of next year, I don't want to be in Australia. I definitely want to move to either London or New York, which is so funny because I got so many questions about New York and when am I going? When am I moving? Can you vlog when you go there? Do you want to still live in New York? Like, I got so many questions about New York and you guys all seem to know how much I want to live there. But definitely by the end of 2019, my goal is to be either living in London or New York. I've kind of been thinking about both of them and I'm not really sure which way I'm leaning yet. So yeah, I have a lot of goals, but in the next year, I would say it's just mainly my channel. I have something possibly in the works right now and definitely moving by the end of next year. Okay, oh, this is a good one. This is a good question. What is the one thing that people always misunderstand about you? I said this in one of my Q&As, but I feel like my appearance is something that people judge me on before actually meeting me and talking to me and stuff. Yeah, definitely my appearance can sometimes come across maybe a little bit intimidating to some people. And I feel like as well, I've learnt this myself. When I meet people and when I go into like a social event or something like that, for me, I need to think about like smiling, because I feel as though when you're smiling, you become like, you come across a lot more approachable. Something that I've learned a lot is that when you smile, you look a lot more happy, a lot more approachable to everyone, and you don't look so intimidating. So I try not to have that like resting bitch face look, because I feel like it's just not a good look for me. And another thing is that like when I first get to know someone, I can definitely come across maybe a little bit more closed off and maybe a little bit cold, but that's just because I'm like protecting myself and my feelings and my emotions, because I'm scared. I'm a person that I get scared to get close to people. I don't know why, but that's something that I have to just kind of let go of, but I do get scared to open up and get close to people. Okay, how tall are you and my age? So I'm actually 5'10" and a half, I think. The last time that I measured myself, I was around 5'10" and a half. So 5'10", 5'10" and a half is around my height. I'm very tall and I'm 20 years old, which is something that everybody doesn't expect. Like, I feel like everyone thinks that I'm about 25, 28, but I'm only 20. I'm a little baby. What are your favourite songs to work out to? I thought this was a good question, and I'm actually going to link a song that I'm currently obsessed with to working out to. Like, I go to the gym and I run. I'm a runner. I love running so much. It's kind of like a mashup of a bunch of different songs. It's kind of like a little bit like electronic, a little bit like dance music. But not in a lame way. Don't take that wrong. It's not a lame song. It's like a cool like DJ mix up of a little bit of electronic, a little bit of dance. Like, it's really cool. So I'll link it below, but that's like my go-to right this very second. So yes. Okay. Somebody asked me if I was straight. So for me personally, I really believe in like connections with people, and I don't think that it matters like men, women, who it is. I feel like you can't help who you connect with. So I know that sounds a little bit hippy-dippy, and if you don't believe in that, then whatever, but I personally do. I feel like I've had a really strong, like extremely strong electric connection with two people in my life. One was a girl and one was a boy. I just believe in that really amazing connection. So for me, I've always thought that I've been attracted to just guys, but I do definitely feel like I could be with a girl if I had that really strong connection with them. Obviously, I haven't been with a girl like sexually or anything like that, but I do feel like I could be if I had that really strong connection, because I just think that it doesn't really matter. Gender doesn't really matter. I think it's just more about the person, the heart, if you connect with them, how you feel with them. Like, it's just more about that to me personally. So I know that's probably a bit of a weird answer, and maybe some of you guys didn't expect that, but yeah, I do. And I do find women just as beautiful as guys. So definitely I think I could be. It just depends on who it is and if it's a perfect fit. Okay, so I got a lot of questions asking, do I have a boyfriend? Are you single? Are you dating someone? What's going on? And I do not have a boyfriend, and at the moment, at this point in my life right now, I don't feel like I want a boyfriend or I need a boyfriend or I'm ready for that. I am young, I'm only 20 years old, and I am still kind of in those years where I feel like people call them selfish years, but I feel like I'm just really working on myself right now. And if I'm being totally honest with you guys, which most people probably wouldn't admit, I feel like I have a lot of self-development to do emotionally and mentally before I could ever be with somebody. Because for me, I don't think that I would want to be with somebody if I still had issues within myself. I wouldn't want to drag someone into my own issues, because I just don't think that that's fair, and I don't think that that would make a healthy relationship. So yeah, I don't feel like I'm ready for a relationship at all, and I don't actually want one. I feel like when I feel content with how my life is and where I live, and you know, financially and emotionally and mentally and physically, I feel like that's the right time, and that's when I would probably want to fall in love with somebody, because of course I do. Of course I want to meet someone one day and fall in love and experience what love is and all of that sort of stuff, because I actually haven't ever been in love. Of course I do, but right now I don't think that that time is now for me at all. So I have a lot of stuff to do. I have a lot of things that I want to achieve, and I have a lot of, like I said, self-development, and right now I just don't see somebody fitting in with my life at all. So my life right now is just about me and working on myself and my dreams, and I don't feel like anybody could really fit into that right now. Okay, what city would you retire in and why? That's such a good question, and I already think of them, like it pops into my head like straight away. Byron Bay in Australia. If you guys are coming from overseas to Australia, go to Byron Bay. Hands down, it's one of the best places to visit when you come to Australia. Go to Byron Bay. It is just amazing. It was one of the most breathtaking places that I've been to in Australia. Also New Zealand. I went to Auckland a few years ago and it was so beautiful. I stayed on a farm and it was like a breathtaking place, except for the hay fever. I have really, really bad hay fever. I have to take a little antihistamine thing every single day because my hay fever is so bad. So when I went to New Zealand, I was just in hell, but it was so beautiful. I enjoyed it so much and it was such a beautiful place, especially to retire. And also maybe Bali. I think Bali is just the most incredible place and I would love to live there for a short period of time as well. Kind of going hand in hand with that, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about living in Australia? Okay, I'm obviously going to say the very cliche thing that most people in Australia say. The weather's incredible here. The weather is amazing. It's such a beautiful day today. It's like sunny and warm and it's amazing. And the beaches. Obviously, I have to say the very cliche thing. The beaches in Australia are like nowhere else, especially where I live. I live in Western Australia in Perth, and the beaches, the coastline, you could go to any part of the coastline in Perth and it is stunning. It is absolutely like picturesque and it's just beautiful. So I'd probably say my least favorite thing is that I feel as though Australia is quite behind like other countries, and I also feel like there's not a lot going on here. Again, especially where I live in Perth, Western Australia, like I just said, it's very small and there is not a lot going on. It's a very kind of boring place to live. Maybe as much as you guys don't want to hear that, for me personally, I find Perth very boring. And it's just not where I want to live and where I see myself living for much longer. I feel like maybe I'll come back here, but definitely I want to live somewhere else for a while. I want to live in different parts of the world throughout my life. I don't just want to stay in one place. I want to move to London for maybe 2 years, move to New York for 3 years, move to, I don't know, Bali for a couple of years. Like, I just want to move around. I don't really like want to just settle into one place. I feel like for me, I just want to kind of move around, work, and that's just what I feel like I want to do. So we'll see. It could change, but anyways. Oh, this is a good question. What is the main goal for your YouTube channel? So I'm going to be, again, I'm a very honest person and I'm just going to be totally flat out honest and straightforward with you guys. I want my channel to be as big as possible, obviously, and I want it to support me 100% financially. I want it to support my life, and I also want to be able to look after my family. I want to have enough money where I can support my family so that they don't have to work anymore. My mum is 57 years old. I'm pretty sure she's 57. And I don't want her to have to work anymore. I want to be able to just completely support her. I just want to be able to look after my whole family, like my sisters, my nieces and nephews, my uncle. Like, I just want to be able to look after my whole family with the money that I make from my channel and with social media. So that is like my main goal with my channel. I just want, like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like I do want it to be able to support my entire life financially and be able to allow me to travel all over the world and all of those sort of things. I'm not as much of like a materialistic sort of person, so for me, I don't really envision myself like buying like a really fancy car or anything like that. And I'm not throwing shade to anyone right now. I see you guys. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying, for me, I don't really care about material items like that. I really just want to explore the entire world, take my family with me, and support all of them as well, give them a great life. So that is my goal with my YouTube channel. Basically just to build it, build an empire, build a brand, and have enough money to do everything that I want to do. Do you have any pets? Yes, I have a little Pomeranian called Poppy, and she's 7, and she is like the most incredible little dog ever. What are your ambitions and goals in the next 5 years? When do you plan on moving to New York City? So I've pretty much touched on my goals, but I would say in the next 5 years, I have a lot that I want to do, a lot of business ventures, but I would probably say, like I said, the most thing is my channel. I definitely want to collaborate with a brand on a fragrance, which could potentially be happening. And I also want to come out with my own brand, but obviously you need a lot of money to launch your own brand, especially if I was to launch my own brand, it would have to be like, it would be very, very, very high standards. So I would have to have like a lot of money, obviously, to do that. I also want to build my own house one day. I'm not sure where, but I definitely want to build my own house in the next 5 years because I've said it so many times, I'm obsessed with architecture. I love it so much. It is a huge passion of mine. and I would just absolutely, that would just be my dream, to build my own house. I obviously want to travel all over the world in the next 5 years, and I also would like to move, like I said, end of next year, hopefully, fingers crossed, to either London or New York. So I have a lot that I want to do, and I have some other business ventures in the back of my head that all revolve around perfume that I'm not going to tell you guys, but I have some really cool ideas that I definitely want to do as well. Do you want to start a family later in life? Okay, so I feel like I answered this in a Q&A, and I think a lot of people were quite shocked with my answer, but I personally don't see myself having children. And it's not because I don't love kids, I adore kids. I've said this so many times, but I'm a Cancer, I'm very maternal, I love kids, I love babies, I love nursing babies, I love all of that sort of stuff. I was an auntie from being like 6 years old, and I just loved looking after them all, and it was just so natural for me. But I don't see myself having my own kids, and I don't know if that's because I haven't met somebody yet, because I know a lot of people, when they meet their partner or their significant other or whatever you want to call it, they envision having children like straight away. But for me, I think that a lot of people have children, and I feel like this is very controversial, and please don't hate on me for saying it, but I think a lot of people have children for like a bit of a selfish reason of wanting to see what your DNA mixed with your partner's DNA would look like in a little human being. But for me, I'm a lot more of like a realistic person, and I think that kids equal a lot of responsibility, a lot of money. They totally change your life like 100%. I don't really see kids in my life. I want a very adventurous life. I want a very exciting life. I want a very, you know, fun and extreme kind of life. Like, that's what I want. I'm sure that my mind will probably change as I've met someone and as I grow up and as I get older. I'm sure that I will probably think about kids, but right now it's just something that I don't ever see in my future, but we'll see, like I said. And also, I feel like for me, I think if I was ever to have kids, I would maybe want to adopt, because I think there's so many unwanted little kids in the world that need a loving home. So I think that would be more something that I would do, but like I said, I don't really think that I want kids, so. Okay, what was my dream job as a kid? Ballet can't be the answer. This is funny, I literally had a dream job from when I was like 4 years old. I wanted to be a vet. I wanted to be a vet so bad, and I wanted to be a vet up until I was like 8 years old. So for me, I've always loved animals, even as a kid. You know what? I'm gonna go and grab something right now. So that is me. That is me as a little kid with a little baby chicken in my hand. And I've just always loved animals, like so much. I've always loved animals my entire life. They just bring such like a warmth to you, in my opinion. They're just so innocent, and I've always loved animals, so definitely a vet was like my dream job as a kid. What do I hate about my personality? And I've said this, I think, in another Q&A. I'd probably say I hate about my personality is that I'm not very confident when I meet people, and I'm not very, like, I don't give off a very like confident and like maybe bubbly sort of vibe, which I wish that I did, because I love people like that. I really love confident people, and I find it really attractive, so I wish that I could be like that myself. But I am more of a shy, sort of introverted person. So for me, what I don't like about my personality, again, is that I can probably come across maybe a little bit, not rude, but a little bit introverted. As well, I am an overthinker. I overthink and overanalyze absolutely everything. So I really hate that about my personality as well. And I can tend to be more negative, which I really, again, I don't like that about my personality. I wish that I was just a really straight up positive person. But do you know what? I can at least admit that I can be negative. Like, I feel like there's a lot of people, especially on social media, that just preach and preach and preach positivity. But I'm sure, like, I'm absolutely 100% certain that they go through times where they are really negative, really down, maybe a little bit depressed, but they just don't want to show that because they want to come across as this positive whatever, like positive kind of persona. I feel like that's unrealistic. I feel like, yes, you can be a mostly positive person, but everybody has negativity in them. Everybody has doubts, and everybody has their own insecurities. And I feel like I said, a lot of people on social media just like to kind of paint this very like fake like ideal personality of just being very, very positive all the time. And I'm not like that. I'm very realistic. I'm a mostly positive person, and whenever I'm with other people, I never ever ever act negative because I think it's such a bad energy to put onto somebody. But when I'm alone, sometimes I do definitely go into my own thoughts and I can be very negative. So at least I can admit it. But I feel like I said, I think a lot of people are very like fake about how they portray themselves online, of just being like this like sunflower, but it's not always like that. Life is not like that. Life will throw us curveballs that will make us question everything. How would you imagine a perfume created by you? What would it smell like? So I need you guys to help me out in the comments down below. What would you guys want me to create? Because for me, I'm very indecisive. Like, I'm not really sure if I would want to create a really sweet fragrance, because you guys know how much I love gourmands and sweet fragrances, or if I would want to create like a white floral, because I love white florals as well, or something oriental, or something like a classic fragrance. Like, I just don't know what I would want to create. Like, I just don't know. What do you guys want from me? A gourmand, a white floral, an oriental? What would you like? Because I don't really know. Why are you still single? Do you ever get lonely? So I kind of answered the single part of this question. I really think that if I wanted to be with somebody right now, I would be, but I don't. So do I get lonely? Of course I do. I think everybody in the entire world gets lonely. I definitely get really lonely, but I am a person that enjoys my own company. I like to have like less people in my life and the connections be really, really, really incredible and really strong and really like genuine and real. I feel like I get more lonely because I do have less people in my life, but the connections are, I feel, really strong. So of course I get lonely, but I am the sort of person that enjoys my own company. Like, when I go traveling, I'm not going to travel with anyone. I'm going to travel by myself, because I do actually feel like I'm going to grow a lot as a person as I travel and as I explore the world. I feel like I'm going to be able to do a lot of like soul searching and kind of discover who I am as a person even more. I feel like in general, I feel like what you guys got out of this Q&A is that I have a lot of growth to do. Like, I feel like that's what most of this Q&A was about. But yes, the question was, do I get lonely? Yes, I do. So yeah, if you have any other questions for me, just leave them in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and supporting me and sending your love and support all the time. It truly means like the world to me. It makes the biggest difference in my life. Like, it truly does. So thank you guys so much for watching this video and supporting me, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.